Anton is asking, is it possible to help stop people coming back to Earth after they die when you are having out-of-body experience? Hi everyone. Now I'm a big yes on this one, and I'm more like gonna talk from my personal experience because like in my life I've had those instances when I would like have near-death experiences when I would just like go out fully, and since I go out of body a lot, and I've been like I remember my past life, so it's easy to know what it's like when you die and what happens afterwards. Um, the good thing about it is like at least from my experience, when you drop dead, the way it happened for me, like I was like in complete void, like it's just dark, but it was amazing because you don't feel scared, you don't have your case, so all of your emotions and all the things like, oh my god, there's this and that, and you feel depression or you are angry or pissed off or something, and you feel all these emotions, and it's like overwhelming sometimes. When you drop dead, the thing that happens is that you are super calm. All those things are not a thing anymore. You are like literally free of those emotions, free of the things that happen in your life. You have the memory, you have the knowledge, you know what's going to happen. And also the good thing about it is that even if you're like, if some people are old, if some people have illness, like they have dementia, they have amnesia, and they forget things, or something happens and like they're ill and they drop dead, what it's like for them. The thing is like when you drop dead, you'll be in the best shape possible. Basically, okay, your body was old and stuff, but your consciousness, your soul, everything that you've learned while you were here, you will have the memory of it. Which is why it's important to grow as a person. It's important for us to learn everything as we go, just like find out as much as possible to grow as a spirit. So once you drop dead, I mean this body drops dead, your soul is eternal, like it's infinite, it's never gonna die. Unless you try, but I think it's not possible. Um, or you can just like fatter yourself the hell out of yourself and like be nothing. But it's another subject. Anyway, even for those who have illnesses in life and like are sick or whatever, when you drop dead, you will be in the best shape possible. Like basically, when you're doing the best in life, let's say at your 30s, 40s, maybe 20s, I don't know, but everyone in life has that best peak where they were like at best at everything and stuff. So all of your memories, everything that you've learned and everything will be there stored. You will be feeling great, like in your best shape whenever that was, and you'll have all of your memories, everything that you've learned, everything. And that's the best thing. Like your dementia will not affect you when you drop dead. Your amnesia will not affect you. All of your diseases, you will have the memory that, oh, that sort of thing happened. Yeah, I remember. But it will not affect your spirit. It will not affect your soul. Now, another important thing is that everything depends on our belief systems. So basically, for those who believe in God or religion or heaven and hell, they might see different things when they drop dead. Some might see light. Some might see angels and archangels coming there to help them. Some might see their like I don't know, people that they know in life, some like loved ones coming over and just talking. And how do you handle it? What do you do when you die? Um, the thing is, like for me, when I was in that void, it was amazing because like no fuss, no case. I was just like completely by myself. And that's the amazing thing. Like our mind sometimes just doesn't stop going. You have all kinds of thoughts during the day, 24/7, unless you go to sleep. And once you wake up, you start thinking, and it just doesn't shut up unless you do the quiet mind and practice and different things. So basically, the more case we drop out, like the more things we deal with and are able to release all of the negativity and emotions and different things that are like basically limiting our life, we're going to be free of that, which means that if we practice this sort of thing every day, we're going to be clearer as a person, we're going to have quiet mind, we will not be as affected as we are now. And when we drop dead, that sort of thing doesn't exist anymore. Like all your case is gone. It might affect you in the reincarnations and different things if you had traumatic incidents in life. But apart from that, it's more like a cellular memory, which is like easy to get rid of and, all that. But basically, when you're there, you can imagine like you have all the possibilities, you have the power if you know what you want to do. Let's say, okay, when I die, like what I would like to do is just go to my own universe or go to a planet I've been to or go to whatever you can think of. You can go to your movie world, anime world, game world, just the world where you have fun and do something else, like universities, anything that you can think of, it's all possible. So just thinking about the light, you don't have to go to the light. You don't know what's going to happen afterwards. Uh, Most people say that it's going to be a trap. Like, well, most people that are awake, because religions are like, hey, let's go to the light, and then you end up like being born as a baby, and hey, you see the light, you get out, and the doctor gets you out. What's the connection, huh? It's a possibility again. But anyway, you can talk to all kinds of beings, but it's like I would not recommend you to agree on anything, because there will be people and they can even be as your loved ones. It doesn't mean that it will be exactly your same loved one, but it might be a being, an entity, like dressed up as your loved one or someone you really care about, and they might come and have a chat with you. And like you're talking, and they're gonna be like, hey, do you want to see what you did during your like last life? And they're gonna start like getting you to remember all the bad stuff you did for some reason, not the good things. No one's gonna celebrate anything good you did. It's all gonna be reminded like all the bad things you did, like, oh look, at that time you dropped like a you litter on the street, at that time you say something bad, and they would find every single thing that was bad that you did in your past life. And basically, all they want to do is make you feel guilty, bad, and wrong, so that they could get your agreement like, hey, next time will be better. Why don't you go back and change it up? Why don't you do something better? Why don't you be a better person and give back more to humanity? And what they're trying to do is basically make you feel bad, wrong, and guilty, come back and reincarnate here on Earth, live a different life, do something more, except that you're going to be mind wiped. No one tells you about that. No one tells you you're going to lose all of your memories of the past life again, and then you'll be trapped on Earth having to grow in wherever. Like, I mean, like, you can be born in a good family, but you can be, like, birth bumped and end up, like, in some really bad country where, like, you can't live normally. Like, you just, like, look at some poverty and, like, all the things and wars and stuff. Like, it's not good. Like, people are hardly surviving there. So that is possible, which is why it's important for you like to be aware of what's happening. And even if you talk to all kinds of beings, do not agree to anything. You can listen to them, you're like, yeah, okay, I understand, cool, but I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, whatever I choose to do. So don't agree to anything. Like, this is just the best tip I can give. But basically, you can like your thought of shifting anywhere will get you there. If you put an intention to go like, okay, there's a university world, there's a world where I would like to be, and you can create your own realm just by thoughts. Like, okay, this is what you would like to have, this is what your place will look like. It can be Earth like, it can be the fantasy world where there's like floating rocks with cities on them and stuff like that. Anything you can think of, it's possible. So you can just basically think of anything, create your own realm, and simply put the intention to go there. Bam! You teleport it, you're there, and you can live your life any way you want. So you don't have to be in a hurry, like, oh my god, what am I gonna do after I die? You don't have to go. You don't even have to hurry to go anywhere. You don't have to create anything. You can just be there and just think about. Okay, you can recall everything that happened. You can like think of what's up right now and what you're gonna do. So no hurries. Like, just because you die doesn't mean necessarily that there will be a white light attracting you and pulling you out and just like trapping you again. It doesn't mean that you will see any kind of beings. Like, everyone has different experiences, and there are plenty of beings that I've talked to who like pass away from Earth, and they all had different stories. Like, some of them, they lived a terrible life. They literally were criminals and they killed some people. And I'm like, well, what happened after that? And they're like, oh, nothing. I just opened my eyes and I was already in another place. So basically, they didn't even they were not even seeing white light. They were not seeing any kind of beings. They were not even in the void. They just woke up in another place, like a dream. So this place where we are living is basically a dream. You close your eyes when you drop dead, and bam, you're in another world continuing your new adventure. All kinds of things can happen. So for us, I think it's very important to know what you want to do after you die. You don't have to hurry anywhere, but just basically having an idea of like what are some of the possibilities, what can you do. Like, of course you can go and explore heaven and hell and see what it's like, all those golden streets and stuff or burning and whatever. But just because it's being told like it's like that and like it's like all this fantastic, or you've been a bad person so you have to go to hell, or you've been a good person so now go and enjoy your streets of gold, like all those things, you don't have to believe that. I mean, like, you can if you want to, if it fits your beliefs, if it makes you feel good, you can. But just because you did something bad in life, it doesn't mean that you have to suffer from it. This is karma stuff. I mean, like, basically they're trying to brainwash us, make us feel guilty, bad, and wrong, so that whatever we do in life, we would basically come back again and make it better. You don't have to. This sort of thing, like wherever we're living right now, this whole planet Earth, it's really dominated control. It's like people are being brainwashed. There's this whole duality thing, good and bad, right and wrong, and this is not right. Like, out there in higher realms, there is no such thing. You can kill others, and it's all a game. Like you can literally shoot a beam, and then like later on, bam, they come back again. You're like, oh, sorry, that was just like trying out what's gonna happen. And they might blow you off, and you might die, and you like get back into one piece again after a second. No one gives a fuck. Like it's all okay. Um, so like coming back to the question, how to stop people coming back to Earth when you're out of body. Like, I just want to explain what it's like, the possibilities. But now, when we're going out of body, and this is important, like, I think everyone can do it actually. Like, if you have the ability to get out of body, but you worry about your loved ones or people you care about coming back again, and you don't want them to come back. You know that they're gonna suffer or something bad gonna happen, or you just want to be with them out there. Like, there are tons of reasons for you to have all sort of things and emotions about like them not wanting them to be here or just wanting them to be out there, like anything. The thing you can do is basically when you're out of body, you attune to that person. So basically, when someone passes away, you can literally get out of body and find them. You basically put an intention of what that person is like, their energy, because once they pass away, they can be in all kinds of places. They can be in the room, they can be in the void, they can be in space, like okay, seeing the white light or whatever. All kinds of possibilities. So you don't have to be scared about how am I going to find that person. Simply, when you are with the person, everyone has a certain energy about them, certain feeling. So when you're with a certain person, you know what it's like being with them. So basically, feel that energy again. Concentrate on that. Put an intention like, okay, that person, I want to be with them. And your intention to be there is like, bam, you teleport, and now you're right next to that person. And all you have to do is basically talk, make them sense. Because once they drop dead, they will not have their case anymore, which means that whatever they've experienced in life, all of the emotions that were stirred up, like basically, if you tell them right now that, okay, like don't go to the white light, and they're gonna be like, no, you're stupid, I'm not gonna believe you, like God said, and I'm gonna go to the white light. All of their emotions and everything they've learned here, it will not affect them. They will not have all of that connection. Like if God said here, and like everyone's like super, I don't know, content with it, and they're just like basically being attached to things. Like, God say this, so I'm gonna be a good person and do everything that God said. And once they drop dead, they won't have the clinginess. Like, they will have the understanding, but all the emotions and all the reasons for being so clingy to whatever, like, you can have, like, literally hard times in life, and, like, you can be depressed and all the things, but just because you were feeling that way here on Earth while you were alive, when your physical body was alive, it doesn't mean that you will have all those emotions when you drop dead, when your body drops dead, to be clear. So you can literally have the conversation without worries about triggering them anymore. Like their beliefs will not be in the bigger effect. Like it will not take over them. Like because they will have the clear mind and understanding situation will be easier. So you can simply have the conversation like, hey, this is what happened. You just dropped dead, and I think it would be better. And like you just explain what happens and what do you think. So it can be like it can be diplomatical where you explain everything when you're trying to be a good being or just like trying to make sense of what's going on and what would be better for that person probably. So you can have a kind of conversation. At the same time, you can go out of body, like literally take them by the hand or something, and literally teleport them to any realm. You can have like a realm where you've been to and like it's good. So when someone drops dead, you teleport to their soul or their consciousness. You literally take them and you drag them to another place. It would be okay for them to agree or at least know what's happening. Like, don't force them if they don't want to. But if you really are like if you really don't want them to hang around Earth, if you really don't want them to experience anything or like anything bad, you can take them by force. And then explain situation and stuff. So like it's all up to you. Like the way you want to handle the situation, it's all up to you. But simply having a conversation, explaining everything how it works, they're not going to be affected by those emotions in their case, so they will have the clear mind, understanding, and it's going to be very easy to take things like, okay, oh, I died, okay, yeah. So they will have understanding and no reaction that's going to be like really stirring up and making them go crazy and stuff. So yeah, I hope this sort of answers the question, because like the possibilities are like limitless. You can do absolutely anything when you go out of body, and like even here, finding the dead relative and just talking to them and explaining the situation and like, hey, when I drop dead, we're gonna meet up and stuff. It's all good. But another reason or another thing to remember is that most of us have more than one self. So basically, if I would drop dead here and part of me was like, I want to come back, which would be stupid, but for whatever reason, it doesn't mean that I have to. But if I do, uh, another part of me, like let's say, how should I explain this? If I have someone I love, and for example I'm just gonna put them and they reincarnate, and I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't do anything and they're back. What am I gonna do? Well, I definitely don't want to come back and reincarnate. I don't want to try to save them again. So what I'm gonna do is basically, okay, they're here. I did my thing. We were having a thing, like I explained everything, but that didn't work, and they came back. What I'm gonna do is basically, since everyone has more than one soul, more than one self, because like we fractured over the time, you can simply concentrate on, okay, that being, that soul, that the feeling I feel, another place. And you just think of some other place but not Earth. And you can teleport to another place and find exactly the same being. They're gonna have another body, they're gonna have different memories. Or you can just find the soul but before they come to a certain place. And you can meet up and like, okay, from now on, like we're gonna go to a certain place. So just because one part of your, let's say someone you love or some of your relatives or just a person that you don't want to reincarnate gets back, and you're like, what am I going to do now? You can find the same being in another place. They might have a different body, different looks, but you will remember their soul. And that's a great thing about it. Let's say people notice me and Rich talking on videos and we're together and we have a thing, like we work together and stuff. So I had a question like, can you meet up and like have you both had a decent experience, or like have you met each other somewhere else? And the answer is yes. For example, we right here, Rich and me, we know each other, like how we look like and stuff. But it would be easy enough for me to get out of body, find out a place where he is, and have his new looks. He can be a girl, he can be a same guy, different body, but the emotion, the same being, has the same essence, same energy about it. Of course, like the memories and different things will be different, but the consciousness is like a hive mind. So whatever this one experience, subconsciously other parts will get that same thing. So you will know each other, like you will know, oh, that's you, and you can like see each other for the first time in like 13 billion years or whatever, and you will know that it's that same person that you've been to or been with in some world. So that's a good thing. Like you don't have to worry too much if someone you love comes back and you're like, oh my god, I want to come back to like reincarnate on Earth again. You can find the same being somewhere else, and basically, as you would educate that being and help that being, same being that you've been here with here on Earth, you're basically educating them and just making them more aware. Their consciousness, when it lifts up, when it's more aware, will affect the body here on the physical. So basically, all of the experiences we have, like in the multiverse, will have the effect. Like all of the relationships, everything we experience, like the more we train this body, the more we learn, the more other bodies and other consciousness of you will be aware. Like the more others learn, they will have the awareness, they will have knowledge, and you will pick it up subconsciously. You might think like, oh, I just thought of new stuff. Not necessarily. You might be connected with another body of yours, and you just tune into it, and bam, there comes news, there comes the knowledge. Like literally, you can have another body who's a musician, for example, and you're trying to be a musician right here. And that part of you who's a successful musician is like right now creating music and great lyrics and whatever. You just pick up and you tune in, and you take some of their music, some of their talents here, you bring it back, and all of a sudden you have this great idea about your new song. Like Paul McCartney wakes up and he writes yesterday. He had a dream. But just the same, you can literally connect to your other self, pick up their talents, pick up their songs, pick up their like writings and stuff, connect it and like rewrite it, sort of thing. It's cheating, but not necessarily. You're just connecting. You're like, it's still you. It's still the same being who created it all. So possibilities are like limitless. You can do anything. Anyway, I feel like I've been talking quite a bit, but I hope this like gives you more insights on how it sort of works and the things you can do. Like it's limitless, so go out and try out things. But I think like the most important thing for you would be working yourself. Like even just finding new knowledge, finding new things, trying to learn more, have different beliefs. Don't try to. It's up to you what you want to do, but I would like one thing I would recommend is like don't agree to things. Even what I tell, it doesn't mean that it's true and I know it all. It means that it's my belief, it is my truth, but it works for me, and it doesn't necessarily have to work for you. So if you find something useful, take it. If you think I'm bullshitting you and you don't like anything, that's okay. Your life is yours. You do what's best for you. Like I'm doing what's best for me, and hopefully you'll find something useful. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. So see you next time. Bye.